Hey everyone, long time no see, and as you probably saw from the title, I'm gonna be talking about Young Emperor and his kit. Although before I get to that, you're probably wondering where I dropped off to. To be honest, life's low-key been good, and between work and the misses, I haven't exactly had much time to just sit down in my room and make videos. I would say to expect more videos, but we've seen how that's worked for me in the past, so I think I'll take this a step at a time. But I do enjoy making these, at least, like I said, when I do have the time. And anyways, I'll also be traveling to the beach this week and staying there for a little while, so it's probably not going to be possible to keep up with videos as of now anyways. But I was kind of bored and I have like an hour to spare right now, so here I am. Back to Kid Emperor, he's a light human obviously with 6-star magic, 5-star physical, and 5-star defense or support slots. They're insane slots obviously, the LB7 is going to be goated on him for sure, but let's not pretend that defense slot isn't also great for endgame damage resist. His skill gives himself 30 arts, or 100 if used within the first 90 seconds of the quest. It being 100 arts off a single skill is actually so busted it's kind of funny. It's kind of like J, although manual, so you're definitely going to see this Emperor being used to blitz through harder content that has a good bit of stages. His arts also increases allies' stats by 30% and reduces the enemy's evasion by 30% for 20 seconds. Honestly, it's fairly subpar. The evasion lowering has its uses, as does the stats up boost, maybe as like a pseudo heal of sorts, but they're not really anything too insane. For his true arts, it lowers the enemy's damage resist by 50%, and increases his super crit rate by 50% for 50 seconds. This is quite a long debuff, and the super crit is always nice for that strong damage buff, but the debuff is somewhat low for such a new character. I know the duration is long, but if you're gonna run him alongside meta damage resist debuffers, this probably isn't gonna stack with them, so it doesn't really make this worth to be used unless you just want the super crit. Anyways, his super art is gonna give allies 50 arts, as well as increasing light allies damage by 150%, which is stackable, as well as an additional 50% more damage within the first 90 seconds of the quest. This is actually really broken for no reason. It gives that instant arts boost so you can run him alongside other art geners without the fear of them not stacking, meaning you can literally just run him with the other 6-star Emperor. And let's not act like a 200% AoE light damage buff, which is stackable by the way, isn't absurd. You pop this 3 times and he's literally giving the team 600% damage. How is that? That doesn't even make sense. That literally isn't fair just for the fact that he provides arts and has a defense slot as well. And to top it off, you run him alongside someone like Stargod Lisa, and let's just say Monolight is gonna be eating pretty good damage wise, especially magic users. As for his passives, at the start of the battle, the team gets 30 arts, above 80% HP he gets 100% crit, and he also gets 10% magic resist. Keep in mind that AoE arts passive isn't per quest, but rather per battle, meaning that similar to J, it activates per stage, so now he's even better at ramping a team up fast, especially when the quest has a large number of stages. And the passive not being tied to him having to be the leader is really good as well. His other crit rate passive is pretty nice too, obviously, considering he won't need a crit buffer on the team. For his true weapon, it's a 5-star physical. It lowers the enemy's light resist by 30%. When used on Young Emperor, he gets 70% physical damage and 1 arts a second. At the start of battle, it gives 20 arts and refreshes the equip's CT. I have a couple of thoughts about this equip, and to be honest, it's not very good in my opinion. For starters, it's only a 30% debuff with a 60-second CT. There are many other higher level debuffs with shorter countdowns, but now if you want to talk about his passive, wow, it does give him 70% physical damage, but only his art and true art is physical. His super art, where he's going to be doing the most damage, is magic, similar to the other 6-star Emperor. It would have been better had it been magic damage, but whatever, I guess they didn't want to make another unit have a 6-star true weapon. Although they could have just swapped the physical and magic slots on him and gave him a 5-star magic true weapon that increases his magic damage passively, but it's whatever. I'm not even going to talk about how negligible that passive 1 arts a second is, especially in the big 2025. I think its only saving grace is the starting passive. It seems to not be tied to being used exclusively on Young Emperor, and from what it looks like, it instantly refreshes its countdown, I assume, right after it's used. So I think this definitely does have some potential in speedrunning, as you essentially just get 2 equips to quickly clear beginning stages. But like, it's not even tied to Young Emperor himself. You're literally just better off running something else on Young Emperor besides this. If you're looking for pure damage, I'd even suggest the other 6-star Emperor's 5-star True Weapon, as it'll definitely be a lot better in terms of damage buffing. Anyways, overall, this Young Emperor is looking to be really good. He's yet again another great addition to the already strong lineup of Mono Light. I also really like that he can be ran with Battle of Fate Emperor. In my opinion, they're actually quite good together, especially if you're adding Star God Lisa, and then maybe units like Alpha, Kenshin, Ilya, Hazuki, or literally anyone else. With the full extent of his abilities being used best within the first 90 seconds of the quest, I'm sure we're definitely going to see him being used quite a bit on leaderboards. He's basically like a stronger and more team-oriented Summer Miu or Jay, especially considering once he pops his super art like 3 times, add Star God Lisa's damage buffing to that, and now the team has over 1000% damage if they're also magic DPS. It's honestly pretty exciting, and him also having that defense slot for that little bit of extra survivability is really nice too, since the devs love to make light units DPSs, but not so much damage supporters or damage resist supporters. I'm honestly excited for him, although I wouldn't get too excited on global since we won't see him for a good bit, but JP guys are definitely going to have a blast with him for sure. Let me know what you think about him down below, and if you're on JP, good luck to anyone summoning for him after the maintenance. In my opinion, I love Mono Light, so he's personally worth a pity to me, but for general players, I would definitely say he's not worth the pity. Sure, he is great at damage buffing and stuff, but he's not very super versatile, especially considering he's tied to Mono Light. I see some people saying that like he's the best unit in a game, and while I do see the hype, I'd definitely chill off that. Not to say I haven't made these claims before about other units, but for a unit that's so heavily tied to one team without much versatility, he's hardly the best. Don't get me wrong, he's still super strong, and in the teams he's meant to be on, he's almost irreplaceable in terms of insane damage. For people who are super into leaderboards, he's definitely a must-have, especially since you already know you're going to see his face pop up everywhere just as fast as Summer Rin and Luvia or Summer Miu did. Anyways though, that's about it for the video. I saw his kit and I thought it'd be fun to do a kit breakdown. Thanks a bunch for watching, be sure to like and sub for more, although I can't promise when that'll be, and I will see you guys later.